Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to talk about University of Vermont's Post-Baccalaureate Pre-Medical Program, and we're going to fit a lot of information into 30 minutes, so hang on and stick around with us. If you do have questions throughout the presentation, please put them in the chat box. I'll do my best to monitor those questions throughout the presentation. This session is being recorded. We will share the recording out with everyone who has RSVP'd and joined us today. So welcome. My name is Nicola Willier-Fenton. I work in our Professional and Continuing Education Department at the University of Vermont. We're going to do quick introductions. We're going to talk about the benefits of UVM's Post-Bacc Pre-Medical Program, and we're going to hear from one of our amazing students who is in her first year of medical school. So we're really excited to hear Jasmine's perspective as an alumna from our program and now in her first year at medical school. The community, Post-Bacc community, is a vibrant, supportive community, and we want to share that information with you. And then how do you build that strong candidacy? Because it goes beyond your GPA when applying to health professional schools as well. And where do our students go? We're really excited to share with you all of the opportunities that our students have had and continue to have through our program. And of course, we'll answer those logistics, deadline, and application logistics throughout the presentation. Okay, here we go. As I mentioned, my name is Nicola Willier-Fenton. Happy to guide you through this conversation today. We have Maggie Lambert with us. She is the director of our Post-Bacc Pre-Medical Program, and she works in our Professional Continuing Education. Maggie's going to walk us through the program today. Jasmine is with us. As I mentioned, Jasmine is a former Post-Bacc Pre-Medical student here at the University of Vermont, and she just survived her first semester of medical school. So we're super excited to hear about her experience. And one of the things that I just want to make note, and Jasmine's been so gracious to share her story with us over the last couple of years, but really a career changer. And a lot of post-bacc pre-medical students are that. They consider medicine, and it's something they've always wanted to do. Jasmine went the path. She was an elementary school teacher, but there was something in her that always wanted to come back to medicine. So we're so happy that she's pursuing that career through UVM as well. And I just want to mention that Kristen Kalbashian is with us too. She's on camera. She's going to turn off her camera though, and she's going to be in the chat. So she's going to try her best to answer all those logistic questions today. So Kristen, thank you so much. And we know that you'll be helping us in the chat. We'll see you later. Oh, okay, so we have a question here. We're not getting any sound. Kelly, do you want to offer a few tips as well on sound? Really, there's a microphone or a speaker icon at the top. You might want to click on that. You can adjust the sound. You may want to designate what speaker it's coming from as well. That might be an option to try to help, and Kelly will help too. Great, thank you, Brian, for helping. Okay, so here we go. The Post-Bacc Pre-Medical Program at the University of Vermont has a lot of benefits, one of which is the fact that the physical connection to the University of Vermont Medical Center, the opportunities to be in Larner College of Medicine, to be amongst peers and students that are pursuing a similar career as well. And so I would like Maggie to share with us, we've got a couple slides here outlining the variety of benefits of our program. Maggie, you want to take it?
Yeah, thanks, Nicole. So we're really lucky to have UVM MC in our backyard, and it's physical, but it's also professional. We have networks. We're able to reach out to folks over at UVM MC and sort of help guide students on research and patient care opportunities with that institution. We also are very lucky to have Larner College of Medicine as a partner with us at UVM. And we have many post-bacc faculty who are also UVM College of Medicine faculty. We have a strong working relationship with the College of Medicine, and we have a program linkage agreement. We're always trying to stay close and up to date on admissions and admissions requirements and how the fluidity of the admissions process is changing with COVID and beyond with our College of Medicine peers.
And then lots of other benefits too. You know, the connection to the medical school and the hospital is a huge asset to our program, but we have so many other things here that students really are able to take advantage of. Can you walk us through a few more points?
Absolutely. This is probably the most important slide in our presentation today. I'd say we have personalized academic support. Our program is customized. Unlike many others nationally, it is not block staff. You're able to come into our program and really customize it for you. For instance, if you have some prerequisites that you've already fulfilled with good GPAs or good grades in those prereqs, then you don't have to take them over again. We help you sort of customize your academic plan while you're here in the program for 18 to 24 credits. We have a virtual learning community that we're really proud of. We boosted that quite a bit during the COVID era. It is a space where students come together and they're able to communicate with each other, connect with their peer ambassadors, and connect with the program team on deadlines, timelines, certain courses that are offered as an opportunity in the semester, or maybe patient care or research opportunities that we regularly post. I know that is a experience for most of our post-bac students that they have grown to really appreciate. We have tailored letter of recommendation process, meaning we offer a committee letter process or a dean's letter process for our candidates. We have various tracks of healthcare specializations. We offer pre-OTD, pre-DPT, pre-veterinarian, pre-dental, PA, doctor of nurse practitioner, along with MD and DO. Most of our students, I'd say about 80%, are probably on the DO MD track, but we do have others in those other various tracks as well. Co-curricular and learning resource opportunities. Our team has really taken some time in the last 2 years to dedicate to bringing some virtual online opportunities to you. We can speak about that further down in the slide presentation. And linkage agreements. We have linkage agreements with our own College of Medicine, Franklin Pierce for PA, and our College of Nursing and Health Sciences for Doctor of Nurse Practitioner. MCAT preparation and resources. We offer some live sessions for that as well. And we also offer a discount on the Kaplan prep course online.
As we said, there's a lot of benefits to work with us here at UVM. So I want, Jasmine, let's turn on your microphone because I'm so anxious to hear from you. One, I'm so glad that you're doing so well. We were just chatting before the info session began. But let's back up a little bit before we dive into what it's like to be a first-year medical student. Why UVM? There's lots of different options out there for post-bac pre-medical programs. Walk us through why UVM was your choice.
When leaving the classroom, I started to look into different post-bac pre-medical programs, and I was in the Mid-Atlantic, so I was considering like Goucher and Bryn Mawr, but I also had a family connection to Vermont. My brother went to UVM, and I kind of grew up skiing here. So I started to look into the program, and I just really appreciate, as has been mentioned kind of previously, you can really structure this program as you want, but more importantly, you have access to the medical center and the medical school right away. So I think that honestly really helped me through my first semester of medical school because I was studying in the same library, booking the same study rooms with groups, and like already basically flowing through the space I had flowed through in my post-baccalaureate years.
Yeah, we hear that a lot, that it just being immersed around medical students, you know, it's inspiring and it kind of keeps you moving towards that goal. Talk to us about what your experience was like in the program as well. You mentioned study groups and things like that. How did you acclimate into a program after being out of your own school? You were teaching at a school, but not being in school.
So we definitely have like something I actually always looked forward to was kind of a meet and greet in the fall, kind of just a beautiful view of Lake Champlain, where we get all the post-bacs together, and then also we're partnered with the Masters of Medical Sciences program too here. So having that community and then kind of going from there. So both of those programs are in and out of the medical school, but with the postbaccalaureate program, you are kind of also in the undergraduate campus, and so you get to see what the pre-medical sciences look like there. But mostly the postbacs would like sit together in class. We'd have study sessions, as I shared, booking study rooms in the medical school library, and then of course like celebrating each other's birthdays and things like that outside of school. And just so happened that I lived next to a couple of post-baccalaureate participants too, so there's that community as well.
We'll talk a little bit more about that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. So We'll hear more from you in a few minutes, Jasmine. Thank you so much for sharing that perspective already. So as Maggie mentioned, we have a variety of different tracks because the majority of students are like Jasmine, that they're coming in and hoping to go to medical school to become a doctor, but there's lots of other options. And one thing that I think is really interesting is that the flexibility of our program can allow students to change a track if needed. Maggie, can you just describe that a little bit? Because I know we've had some people coming in. I think about a woman that we just wrote a blog about. Her name is Sarah. She's in veterinary school out in Colorado, and she came in the MD track and then realized that she wanted to pivot into the pre-vet track, and how our program can support students if they make that choice.
Yeah, certainly. So as students come into our program, some are undecided and they've chosen a few track specializations that they've decided they'll hone in on as they get going with the program. I think through some patient care experiences or with academic experience, you very quickly, and we try to urge you to quickly decide what track you are going to commit to, so that you can be on your way and get the right academic plan in place for you. But certainly students, this is a personalized journey, and students will come in and sometimes decide, well, I'm not sure MD is quite for me after I've had a little bit of experience in this. I think NP is a better fit for me, either academically or personally, or PA. And we certainly like to help guide students through that journey and ensure that they're on the right track in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that speaks to also the flexibility that our program can have to support students. Both Maggie and Jasmine have mentioned the community at our UVM through our Post-Bacc program, and the virtual learning community. It's our Post-Bacc community hub. It's very robust. There's a lot of activity, a lot of resources, and a lot of connections. And we have Post-Bacc peer advisors that have open office hours that connect with students that are usually post-baccs that are farther along in that process, that can guide post-baccs who maybe are just starting their journey as well. The other thing I wanted to mention, these next couple of slides show opportunities to build your candidacy. One question we get all the time is, well, how do I get more experience? How do I get direct patient experience? And while there's no doubt the last 2 years have been challenging with COVID, there are still many opportunities, and it's the advantage of being connected to the medical school and the medical center that students in our programs have opportunities to participate virtually, and some are starting to come back in person, grand rounds, learning about different topics, seminars as well. I've spoken to students over the last couple of years that popped into a seminar in the medical center as a post-bacc student and was fascinated and decided to go more into research than he had intended to. And so these opportunities are all around our post-bacc students as well. The AHAC clinics have actually started back up, which is really exciting to get that hands-on experience also. And then the pre-health live sessions. These are a lot of things that our team does, and Maggie mentioned many of them, but we also try to get our students that have gone on to different medical schools, different tracks, to come back and share their experiences with our students as well. Jasmine, I just want to ask you, because I know that you have been very busy while you're in that glide year. You were hearing screening for newborns in the hospital, and also you were doing some research. Can you just share with us how you found those opportunities?
Yeah, definitely. And I also just wanted to touch on kind of the grand rounds piece of things. I definitely had not taken any pre-medical science courses before attending the UVM Post-Bacc program, and really kind of didn't know too much about medicine besides like the doctor's appointments I've had throughout my life. And so I really found like the grand rounds of sessions to be super helpful. And so initially I was here before the pandemic, so I started to go in person, kind of just like snipping them in between my class schedule just to supplement my learning and get familiar with the medical terminology that sometimes made me scared, and build familiarity. But as they went virtual, it kind of became easier. I also plugged that into my schedule and just put the Zoom link in my browser and joined. But yes, as Nicole shared, I was working as a newborn hearing screening technician and then also a clinical research coordinator. There's a great program here. It's called Emergency Medicine Research Associates Program, and it's actually integrated into the undergraduate coursework here. And so basically it's a way for students like us to get into the emergency room and into the hospital really, and kind of get hands-on experience with patients, and learn about research protocols, kind of build that research background that you would need kind of as you are in the application process, and then if you want to continue to do research in medical school.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much for sharing that and your perspective on Grand Rounds. I've heard that a lot from students, just so valuable, and different perspectives have been so valuable for them. I just want to give a plug. If anyone has any questions for Maggie and Jasmine, please put them in the chat, and we will have a few minutes at the end to answer those questions as well. Maggie has mentioned several times about the curriculum. While it's flexible, this is a slide that shows a sample of, and on the left is the DO track, and on the right is the pre-dental track. Maggie, just touch on this in terms of what students typically come in and what courses they often take.
Sure. It's 2 semesters of general chem with lab, 2 semesters of organic chem with lab. It's traditionally what you probably all listening are aware of, the prerequisites for medical school or health professional school. So these are the traditional prerequisites. And if you fulfilled some of those, you're able to customize your plan by maybe adding in Surge 200. I think, Jasmine, that's what you were speaking to, was the emergency medicine research course. They have a wonderful sequence that you can strengthen your candidacy with. That as you move through that sequence of courses, it actually adds to some of your research experience. Also, we have great upper level science courses in the College of Medicine, and many of them are starting to come online as well, which is a wonderful way to get more acquainted with College of Medicine faculty and maybe pick up a reference from them and working with them in their courses, if you have room in your academic plan to do so. But we also have summer courses as well, and the great thing about summer is it's 30% off. And we usually try to maintain that annually from year to year. We have a summer scholarship as well, and you can reach out to one of our advisors for details on how that will be instituted this summer. I think last summer it was sort of a buy one course, get one free. So really great opportunity to take advantage of summer with some of these sciences. I know bio this summer's online, chem and physics are face-to-face. We're trying to create more flexibility in the curriculum for students with some more online delivery, but also sort of appeasing to what students actually want and need.
Awesome. Great. Thank you for touching on that as well. And obviously, and thank you, Kristen. I see you're jumping in and answering Haley's question. And that's often what Kristen does, is there's very specific questions that students have based on their background. And so that's what Kristen does to help you to make sure that you're on the right track. And Jasmine is at the Robert Larner College of Medicine. Many of our students go to Larner College of Medicine as well, but you can see a big giant list here of where our students go. And so our students have a very high success rate getting into health professional schools. And I'm just going to kind of zip through these slides quickly, because the intention is not to read all of them, but just to share with our viewers today that our students go on to successfully pursue their career in medicine, whichever path that they might be going on as well. And veterinary schools are listed as well there too. So I want to just circle back on, we did have one question, thank you, from Haley, but wanted to also circle back on the questions we get most often. And you can see them here. Maggie's touched on a little bit of them, but Maggie, just maybe kind of tick them off so that we're making sure to cover them for our students today.
Sure. As I just mentioned, a lot of our courses are on campus or hybrid. We're trying to expand with some additional online offerings. We certainly have some upper level science courses online and some available in summer online. The program typically takes 12 to 24 months to complete, depending on how you would like to embark on that journey and how long you need to take. The program cost is in and out of state tuition, which is based on a credit hour based tuition model, and in-state is roughly $678 per credit, and out-of-state is roughly $720 per credit. There are ample research, volunteering and shadowing, patient care opportunities. Of course, there were challenges with all of that during COVID, and I would say students did a wonderful job of working with these challenges. We saw a lot of students really engaging in their communities in ways that were not traditionally thought of prior to the COVID era, and that served them really, really well. I think patient care and research is one of the top worry for students, is sort of getting those credentials and that experience. And every time I interview a CLP candidate or read their resumes or talk to students, they've all garnered that experience. And it's not something that we lead you through, that we try to assign to you. So we ask that this be part of your journey and finding those networks and networking and getting that experience. But we certainly have lots of lists, and we can point you to the right places. And a really great strength of the program right now is the ambassadors and your peer mentors. We have a group of post-bac students that act as ambassadors, and we found that it's more valuable to you to hear from them and how they're garnering their experience in research and patient care. And that really sort of helps you get some ideas about where you want to seek that opportunity and experience.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. I know those are the main questions that we get. I'm going to come back to Jasmine here in just a minute, but I'll walk simply, here's the application process, right? Maggie, just touch on it real quick, because I know a lot of times people ask, a common question we get is, I'll get in my personal statement, my letters of recommendation, but I don't have my transcripts yet. Can I still apply? So maybe talk the students through that.
Yeah, absolutely. We only require unofficial transcripts, so they're fairly easy to access, but you can start your application, and we'll hold it to review until the application is complete. If we find that there's things missing in the application, we'll send it back to our team to get those from you. The application's online through Post-Bacc CAS, or we have our own application on our website. If you are decided on UVM alone, it's a lot cheaper to apply through our application than it is Post-Bacc CAS. But if you're applying to multiple schools at the same time, then that might be the route that's better for you. Yes, so our application requires a personal statement, 2 letters of recommendation. They do not have to be from your any undergraduate science faculty. It's great to have those, but if you have other letters of recommendations from mentors or places that you've worked, we love to see those as well. And I think I've touched on all of those. Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you for reminding us about the letters of recommendation. We get that question a lot. I haven't been in school in a while. I don't have that contact anymore. So thank you for answering that as well. So I want to come back. We've got probably about 4 minutes until we're going to wrap up. So just wanted to encourage, and I see Kristen answering Haley's question. And Haley, thank you for serving your country as well as a veteran. So Kristen, thank you for answering her question. But I want to come back to Jasmine. You just made it through your first year of medical school. Congratulations. How has that been? And thinking of the preparation, career changer. You hadn't taken any college sciences. You really shift yourself into a new career path with new coursework. And here you are, your first year of medical school. How well did you feel prepared? And how's it going?
I think, as I spoke to the familiarity before, just kind of with the UVM Post-Bacc program, it wasn't really about learning my new space and new environment and new community, because really, I think there's about 5 students that were in the Post-Bacc program with me already in my class of 124 students. So that community kind of just came with me to the first day of medical school. It was more about kind of just getting used to the flow. But honestly, without my experience in the coursework with the UVM Post-Bacc program, I wouldn't be prepared for medical school, because I didn't do any of the pre-medical science coursework elsewhere.
Did we just lose Jasmine? She just froze on us for a minute here. Oh, and she just had the best statement. I know it. So, oh, we lost her. Maybe she can jump back in. Oh, I'm so bummed. She was just sharing her words of wisdom as a first-year medical student. So hopefully we can get Jasmine back in here in just a minute and we can answer, or we can hear her last statement. While we're hopefully waiting for her to come back in, I just wanted to put some dates in front of you to be thinking about. And Maggie mentioned the summer term. And tuition is reduced in the summer, so we highly recommend that. And oftentimes we hear from students who are career changers that summer is a great thing to try. You know, like I remember one of our students, Mike, I said, okay, I'm going to take organic chemistry in the summer and see how I do. You know, so it's a great opportunity to kind of get your feet wet into these programs as well, and to test out if this is going to work for you and how you get back into school, because so many of our students maybe haven't been in college setting in a bit. And then just looking at those application dates for the fall, our fall cohort, the application would be July 1, and then the term starts August 29th. And Jasmine, we're so glad that you're back. No problem. Please don't ever apologize for Wi-Fi after the couple of years we've had having to do this all online. But you were starting to say something brilliant, I'm sure. And so you were starting to say kind of how prepared and how it felt being in the post-bac program coming into medical school.
Like, if you're considering the summer courses, I actually never took advantage of that kind of break in tuition. I think that's a great opportunity, and there's really passionate professors that teach during the summertime. So I definitely think organic chemistry would be great. I also took biochemistry in the summertime. I've heard physics, it might be better to take it in the summertime. It's one of the tougher courses, at least for me it was. But yeah, definitely. I think there's great faculty on the undergraduate campus that prepare you for the medical school. I loved microbiology, and I'm learning about attacks and defenses right now, and I'm seeing microbes from microbe lab. And so I cannot thank the post-bac program enough, because I wouldn't be here without the post-bac program, for sure.
Oh, thank you. And we're so happy to have you on this, to be along with this journey with you as well. And thank you always for sharing your story and your perspective with us and our students as well. So I think we may have a couple questions coming in, and then we're going to wrap up here in about 2 minutes. Maggie, is there anything else you wanted to, just talk about? Maybe we were just talking about application and deadlines. How long does it typically take? If I turn everything in, in April, will I know within a couple weeks that I've been accepted? What is that time?
Yeah, usually it's not more than 2 weeks. And if you are waiting longer than that for any reason at all, please reach out to the team.
That's great. Oh, good. Keats has asked, are most classes still online or in person? Trying to get a sense of whether I need to move to Burlington as well. Most are, and Maggie, please, jump into this too, but it's still a mix. I would say it's more in person than online.
Yes,
Would you say
it is
that's accurate? Okay. Housing question comes up a lot too. And so what I have found is the post-bac community helps each other as well. I see posts all the time in the community hub. I know of a room, who can take my apartment over. So there's lots of different options to find housing, in and around campus as well. And Haley asks, are we able to set up individual advising with the Learn? Yes. I mean, email Learn, and likely it'll get to Kristen, and then we'll go from there. Yep. Kristen, thank you so much. Awesome. I think we're going to pause there. Thank you everyone for being with us. Jasmine, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. We're so proud of you. And Maggie and Kristen, thank you so much for answering all these great questions today. Best wishes to all of you who've joined us, and hopefully we see you in our post-bac pre-medical program soon. Have a great afternoon.